Hey there, Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies, and today I want to share what I think is one of the most potent tools for conveying one's point of view in business, in letting people know, here's how I see the world, and here's how I see this journey from island A to B, here's how I see the making of this kind of product. This is something I often get my clients to do. Sometimes they laugh, but it's like, oh, another one of these, huh? So before I go into it, if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can subscribe, hit the red subscribe button and a little bell icon there. Also, if you, I'm on Facebook, you could follow me there. I've got an email list at marketingforhippies.com. So many ways. And of course, if you like this video, share it with your friends. Okay, so it's basically the idea of a Venn diagram. So it's not a new thing, but it's very powerful. Oh, I did such a good one. I did such a good one. Oh man, I usually don't do them that well. Okay, so the Venn diagram is basically saying, and I'll do 3, but you could have 4, you could have 5, but the more you have, the crazier this gets. 3 is probably a good simple number. Just generally, by the way, in conveying your point of view, the numbers 3 and 7 tend to be very easy for the mind to remember. The 3 things is the easiest. When I do my day-long workshop, almost everything I teach is in 3s. None of that was intentional. It just kind of happened that way. And so I want to go over one of the things I talk about in my workshop, because I think this will be a good illustration of it. So in my day-long workshop, I talk about these are the 3 core elements of your marketing strategy. And this is the main thing you want to be thinking about in terms of point of view. This is what I would call the map in point of view. I've got a whole ebook called Point of View Marketing. Check it out. I'll put the link below. This is the map. And the map is just what are the main elements of the journey, the main elements of getting from A to B. So what I would say is, well, you've got your niche. You know, this is what you want to be known for. Then there are the paths. These are the marketing tactics. Like if you want to build a path to your door, you know, so people can actually find you, because nobody's going to hack their way through the underbrush with a machete to find you. And then there's what I would call the container. And the container is like a, you know, the bucket that receives all the water. And so these are the 3 elements. Okay, so that's not that compelling right now. But let me fancy it up a bit, and then you'll start to see how this can work and be very useful for people to understand as a diagnostic tool where they are, to build and deepen your credibility, to have people say, oh my God, that's right, I need help here or here or here. And so they can actually see if or where you might be able to help them. So if we can imagine the paths, this is like, well, I'm not gonna draw this. But if you could imagine the paths is like a faucet, and the container, this is a bucket. And the faucet is pouring water into this bucket and filling it up. And the niche would be like a filter on those, right? So those are those 3. So then the question, once you've gotten the elements and you can draw it out like this, now of course this thing in the middle, this is where you've got all of them. All 3 of them are present. In this, you've got a business, your marketing is working because your niche is figured out, you know what you want to be known for, the paths are figured out, you know how your ideal clients are going to find you, and your container is also figured out, you know how money's coming in and staying in your business. But what about these ones? What about when it's just these 2? So this is a really good way to help people see, look, if you miss any one of these, here's the consequence. That's what you're trying to do. So I might say, well, look, you know, I often joke at my workshops, I say, who's hosted a theme party? Almost every time somebody has. And so I say, okay, the theme of the party, let's say it was the pirate theme party. Well, that's the niche. That's the niche. That's what the party's known for. What are the paths? Well, that's the invitations and the signs telling people where to go. And then the container, that's you decorating your house and getting ready for the party. But let's say we take one of these out. Oh, okay, well, if you have no niche, well, then you've got a party with no theme. It's just a house party. So invites go out. You decorate your house for a party, but there's nothing special about it, you see? If you take away the paths, what do you have? Sweet pirate party. You decorate your house, but nobody comes because nobody knows. Just sad pirate sitting alone. And if you take out the container, then what happens? Well, you got a sweet pirate party. You've told everyone, but when they show up, nothing's decorated. You're not ready for them. Nothing. So this is what you can do. I really urge you to think about it. What are the main 3 things, the main 3 elements that people need to solve the problem they have, on island A and to get to island B. Or if they're going to make a product, or consider buying a product, what are the 3 things they need to be looking for in the design and making and materials of that product? Maybe those would be the 3. But you get as specific as you can, because then when you share this with people, it just makes so much sense. They say, oh, I can see you. First of all, you got to make the case for the 3 things. Here's why these are the 3 most important things that you need to think about, right? You got to make that case first. Once that case is made, then you make the case of here's what happens if you leave even one of them out. If you leave 2 of them out, God, think about like the water faucet example. Well, you could have a bucket, but you got no water, so you're gonna dehydrate yourself. You could have the faucet, but no niche, so it could be poison water, and no bucket, so you just have to stand there drinking out of your hands. Or you could have just the water filter, great, but you got no water and no bucket to hold it. So you can show that if you just have any one of these, it doesn't work. If you add another, here's how much better it is. But if you add the third, here's how it works. So that's the idea when you're doing a Venn diagram. I've helped a lot of clients with this. Of course, it's not always going to stay as a Venn diagram. It doesn't always have to be that. But you can have it in other ways. But visually, it's a nice medium. It's a nice way for people to see how you see the world. And this is so important for people to get. If they're going to trust you, there's relevance, credibility, and value. This is the credibility piece. This is where you start building the trust of like, I know what I'm talking about. And also, again, as they're sitting and listening to you, they're thinking, which one of these are missing for me? And they might be saying that thing, God, I'm missing all 3 of them. I've had that happen. People at the workshops, I have no niche, I have no paths, and no business model, no container at all. Oh my God, I'm missing all 3. And then they're like, I really need your help. And they might just realize they're missing one, but then they may say, I'll sign up for Tad's Niching Spiral Home Study Program because I'm just missing this. Or the Pad saying, I'll get his hub marketing ebook. Yeah, you get the idea. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And that's all for today. Thanks.